Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're diving straight into a new book that's already getting some buzz, The Perfect Divorce by Jeneva Rose.
That's right. We're working off the Amazon page for this one, the hardcover, and it really does lay out quite a bit for us.
It does, yeah. Gives us a good snapshot. So our mission today is pretty clear. Let's unpack what this book is all about. You know, the story, the author, Jeneva Rose, figure out if it's a thriller worth keeping an eye on.
That sounds good.
Okay, so first off, that title. The Perfect Divorce, is it a happy ending or a disaster? Kind of grabs you, doesn't it?
It definitely poses a question right away. And the author's name, Jeneva Rose, well, that should ring a bell for thriller fans. The page makes it clear she wrote The Perfect Marriage.
Ah, the multi-million bestseller.
Exactly. So there's a built-in audience and maybe a certain expectation of twists and turns like in the first book. This one seems to hint at similar territory, complex relationships, secrets.
Yeah, speaking of complex, the main character here is Sarah Morgan, high-powered attorney. And get this, years ago, she defended her own husband, Adam, when he was charged with murder.
Wow. Okay. That's a backstory.
Right. But now it's 11 years later. Sarah's apparently moved on. She's remarried, guy named Bob Miller, even changed careers. Looks like a fresh start.
Seems like it. Almost too perfect, maybe? You know how these stories go. That quiet life probably doesn't last long.
You guessed it. The trigger. Sarah finds out Bob, the new husband, is cheating. So she files for divorce. Pretty standard stuff, you might think.
Okay. Messy, but familiar.
But then, just as her second marriage is falling apart, new DNA evidence pops up from Adam's old murder case.
No way! After 11 years.
Yep. The investigation's reopened, and boom, Sarah's dragged right back into that nightmare. Talk about bad timing.
Seriously. That's just layer upon layer of complication.
And it gets worse. The woman Bob was having the affair with, she goes missing.
Oh, come on. So the old murder case and a new disappearance all linked to the guy she's currently divorcing.
Exactly. The description says Sarah and Bob's divorce turns ugly and becomes a high-stakes game of cat and mouse.
Okay, now it sounds like a Jeneva Rose novel.
Totally. It promises page-turning suspense, and her signature twists and turns. Sounds like it'll keep readers guessing.
Mm-hmm. And that final question they pose, can Bob and Sarah achieve the perfect divorce? Or will it be till death do us part? That really dials up the menace, doesn't it?
Definitely suggests things could get very dark, not just legal battles.
Right.
So if people are intrigued, when can they actually read this? The publication details say it's out in hardcover, unabridged, on April 15th, 2025.
Okay, so coming up fairly soon. Good for pre-orders, and it looks like there are other options too.
Yeah, Kindle, definitely. An audiobook, an interesting point here, it says free with an Audible trial membership.
Oh, good to know for audiobook listeners.
And even an MP3 CD, so lots of ways to get it.
Covers all the bases, and the publisher is Blackstone Publishing.
Right. And page count, 288 pages.
Okay, so not a massive doorstop, probably a pretty tight, fast-paced read.
Seems likely. Language is English. Dimensions are there if you care about the physical size. About 9 by 6 inches.
And the ISBN is listed too, 979-8874-620-936. Useful if you're searching for it specifically.
Always handy. Okay, let's talk price. The hardcover is listed at $20.98.
And that's marked as a 30% saving from a list price of $29.99. So, bit of a discount there at launch.
Yeah, not bad. And then there's the usual Amazon stuff, fast, free shipping with Prime.
Right, and free returns within 30 days if it's, still in original condition. Standard policy, but good to have.
Definitely. The delivery options are interesting too. For non-Prime, if you hit the $35 order minimum, it suggests free delivery Friday, April 18th.
Okay.
But Prime members get an even faster free delivery Wednesday, April 16th.
So Prime definitely speeds things up if you pre-order, which, as you said, is available now.
Yep, ready to go for eager readers.
Okay, so that's the what and when. What about the who? Jeneva Rose. We know she's a New York Times bestseller, which, carries some weight.
For sure. And the page lists her other books. Home is Where the Bodies Are. You Shouldn't Have Come Here, obviously. The Perfect Marriage. And One of Us is Dead. She's built up quite a catalog in the thriller space.
She really has. And it mentions her work's been translated into, over 24 languages?
Yeah.
And option for film and TV.
Wow. Okay, so she has broad appeal. These stories clearly resonate.
Yeah, they must have that visual, dramatic quality. And we get a little personal tidbit, too. Originally from Wisconsin, now in Chicago.
Right, with her husband and her English bulldogs, Winston and Phyllis.
Huh. Gotta love the bulldog mention. It makes the author feel a bit more real, doesn't it?
It does. And for listeners who like to follow authors, her social media handles are all listed. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, plus her website. Jeneva Rose author, mostly.
Easy to find her online then.
Seems so. Now, maybe one of the most interesting bits on the page, especially for deciding whether to read the editorial reviews, quotes from other authors.
Oh, yes, the blurbs. Always telling. What are they saying?
Pretty glowing stuff, actually. Corinne Slaughter calls it riveting and says it'll grip you. High praise from another big name in thrillers.
That's a strong endorsement.
TJ Newman says it's a clever, pulse-racing thriller with masterful twists.
Okay, pulse racing. Masterful twists, hitting all the right notes for the genre.
Alex Finlay just says, Jeneva Rose is a force to be reckoned with.
Wow. Bold statement.
And Jennifer Hillier says Rose has cemented her place as a must-read author, so her peers seem really impressed.
Yeah, those are some serious kudos. What about industry reviews, like Publishers Weekly?
They mention Wicked Tension and call it a ride worth taking. Picklist specifically compares it to The Perfect Marriage, saying fans will like the twists and surprising turns in this scintillating sequel.
Scintillating sequel. Okay, so they're directly saying if you like the first one, you'll probably like this too.
Exactly. Seems like a strong consensus building already. Lots of suspense, unpredictable plot, classic thriller ingredients.
What else does the page offer? Any related info?
Yeah, a couple of things. The frequently bought together section is interesting, if predictable. It shows The Perfect Marriage and Home is Where the Bodies Are.
Makes sense. People who buy one Jeneva Rose book often buy others. Suggests consistency in her appeal.
Right. There's also a mention of a short video review, like a 1-minute clip, with that same title, The Perfect Divorce. Is it a happy ending or a disaster? Could be a quick way to get a feel for it.
Oh, neat. Like a little trailer for the book.
Kinda, yeah. And then there's the Amazon bestsellers rank. Even pre-release, it's sitting at hashtag 55 in books overall.
Wow, hashtag 55 overall before it's even out. That's impressive. Shows strong pre-order interest.
Definitely. And within its categories, it's hashtag 6 in murder thrillers and hashtag 26 in psychological thrillers. So Amazon knows exactly where to place it, and it's ranking high there already.
That really shows its positioning and the anticipation for it in the thriller community.
Yeah. And finally, just a little nudge to follow the author on Amazon for updates. Standard stuff.
Okay, so putting it all together, what's the takeaway?
Well, it really sounds like The Perfect Divorce is shaping up to be a twisty, suspenseful thriller. You've got this really complex setup, the old murder case coming back, the messy divorce, the new disappearance.
All interwoven, presumably with those Jeneva Rose signature surprises. And that central question looms large. Can they have a perfect divorce, or is it headed somewhere much, much worse?
Right. The early reviews suggest it's probably leaning towards worse, in the best way possible for a thriller reader, you know? High tension, lots of surprises.
So for listeners who enjoy thrillers about toxic relationships, dark secrets bubbling up, and plots that keep you guessing, this sounds like it could be right up their alley.
Especially given the author's track record and the strong buzz already. Definitely one to watch for when it drops in April 2025.
Which leaves us with a final thought, maybe. Considering Sarah's background, she's an attorney. She successfully defended someone on a murder charge before. Her first husband, no less.
Yeah, that's a crucial detail.
How does that past experience, her legal mind, maybe even her unique insights into Adam's case, how does all that play into navigating this divorce? So what kind of perfect or maybe perfectly imperfect divorce could someone like her engineer or get trapped in?
Ooh, that's interesting. How her past skills might become weapons or liabilities in her current mess. Definitely something to think about while waiting for the book.